All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Welcome to this second session of Hiring the Right Way, Best Practices for Building and Retaining a Winning Team. In this session, we're going to explore key strategies to not only attract top talent, but also retain them for a long term. We'll dive into best practices that ensure that you're hiring the right people for your organization and that you're creating an environment where they can thrive. So, Kate, if you want to take us to the next slide, we'll go ahead and dive in. Again, this is just talking a little bit about the steps that we're going to go through. And to kick us off, we're actually going to start with our founder, Andrew Doyle, and he's going to give us a quick recap of what we went over in the first session.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, and welcome everyone for attending today. Again, super excited to kick off the second session of our 15 years of how to retain a top talent and how to hire. So super excited to have everybody here today. In our last session, we covered the first 8 steps of our hiring process. So let's quickly revisit those to ensure everyone's on the same page before we dive into the remaining steps. First off, we have defining your company's unique culture, followed by crafting compelling job descriptions, key differences between in-house hiring and using a recruiting firm, where to promote your role, reviewing resumes and the 6 things to look for, building an effective interview process, preparing for successful interviews, asking the right questions in those interviews. These steps lay the groundwork for a robust hiring process, and today we'll cover the rest of the remaining steps in our session today. In our hiring guide, we've outlined 12 essential steps to have you navigate the hiring process effectively and efficiently. These steps cover everything from defining your company's unique culture to retaining top talent. Let's quickly walk through these steps we'll be covering today. We'll start with implementing an efficient communication process, followed by selecting the right candidates, extending job offers, and probably the most important thing is how to retain top talent. I'll then pass it over to Ashley.
Thanks, Andrew. So as Andrew mentioned, first we're going to go over implementing an efficient communication process. And again, this is taking over from the previous steps that we already completed in session 1, where we left off with asking the right questions in interviews and selecting how you're going to navigate through that process after that. So we're going to start again with speed and clarity of your hiring process, because it can significantly impact your ability to attract top talent in today's competitive job market. Slow decisions or poorly timed communication can often result in losing exceptional candidates to competitors. So to stay ahead, we want to consider these strategies. First, we want to set clear expectations. So that includes informing candidates upfront about your company's interview process, how long it's going to take, how many interviews are included. Transparency helps candidates understand and be comfortable with the timeline, ensuring you focus on those who are okay with your pace. Next, we want to make sure that we're following up promptly. So even if decisions aren't finalized internally, you still want to communicate with candidates on the expected date and express continued interest if you want them to stay in your pipeline. These regular updates will show you that you value communication and the candidate's time. We also want to make sure we're being proactive. So ask candidates if they're exploring other opportunities, if they're interviewing anywhere else, and step up communication if things are moving slowly on your end. A hiring manager's personal outreach demonstrates the company's commitment and appreciation to the candidate. Next, you want to streamline your process. So speed reflects your organization's efficiency and interest in candidates. You can identify and improve any gaps in the hiring process and achieve alignment among stakeholders on role expectations, decision steps, and communication channels. And lastly, we want to make sure we're showing care and respect to the candidates. So we are going to court top talent by treating them with care, delivering as promised, and setting realistic expectations. Effective communication sets your company apart in a tight job market. And we have heard, countless stories of where this really is true. There can be candidates who are interviewing with multiple organizations, and if they're having a better experience with one employer over another, they're likely to choose that employer. So definitely keeping all of these things in mind is going to be essential when landing your top talent. Next, we're going to turn it over to Allie, and she's going to walk us through how to select the right candidates, some green flags and deal breakers.
Thank you. Discussing some of the critical aspects of hiring, we want to look at green flags and deal breakers when we're selecting the right candidates. So when evaluating candidates, it is important to recognize key attributes that indicate a strong fit, as well as warning signs that may suggest a mismatch. So green flags are a positive indicator showing that a candidate aligns well with your company's culture, values, and the specific role. And these might include a growth mindset, adaptability, or the ability to work well in a team. On the other hand, deal breakers are red flags that signal potential issues. So these might include poor communication skills, lack of professionalism, or a fixed mindset. And understanding the differences between these green flags and deal breakers will help guide your decisions and ensure that you select the best candidate for your organization. I do want to delve a little bit deeper into some specific examples of these indicators. So for green flags, culture fit, for example, a candidate's alignment with company's culture is critical for long-term success. Those who share the same values and work style tend to collaborate better and are more motivated. Another green flag would be growth mindset. So candidates with a growth mindset are open to learning, embracing challenges, and are eager to develop their skills. These individuals are more likely to adapt to new situations and contribute positively to your team. On the deal breaker side, not a culture fit, for example. If the candidate has the right skills, a poor fit with your company's culture can lead to dissatisfaction, misalignment. And another deal breaker would be fixed mindset. So candidates who are open to change or feedback may struggle in dynamic environments, and this can hinder both personal growth and the team's progress. So by recognizing these green flags and deal breakers, you should confidently be able to identify candidates who will not only excel in their roles, but also thrive in your culture's organization. And this careful evaluation is essential for building a strong, cohesive team that does drive success. Now, once you've found the right candidate, the next step is crucial. How do you secure them? So let's move on to extending strong job offers.
Yeah, I think oftentimes one thing that tends to be overlooked in the candidate acquisition process is actually the offer process, right? Because it is part of the acquisition of talent, and one of the more important parts of the process that sometimes I think is overlooked. So when thinking about extending job offers and how to secure top talent, it involves more than just identifying the best candidate. It requires presenting a compelling job offer that stands out in a highly competitive market. So in this section, we talk about how to achieve this. So start by laying the groundwork out, set expectations for the hiring process kind of throughout the interview, discuss the work environment, and understand the candidate's other job offers to determine the right timing for your offer. Ensure the offer letter is comprehensive and clearly outlines all elements such as salary, benefits, bonuses, work environment, and professional development opportunities. Clearly state how the candidate can accept the offer and provide a specific deadline. When you do go ahead and craft an offer letter, make sure that offer letter does in fact reflect your company's values and your culture. Again, cultural fit is essential in making an effective hire. And then make sure that the offer is professional, error-free, and includes a personal touch to demonstrate genuine interest in the candidate. Oftentimes, we also recommend that you consider presenting these offer letters verbally via phone to express excitement and gauge candidates' interest. I think it also helps to engage other contacts from the hiring process to build rapport and ultimately potentially sway the candidate's final decision if they're considering a couple of different options. And then lastly, have a well-defined post-offer process to maintain engagement and enthusiasm until the candidate joins your team. I've seen it countless times where you present an offer, candidate accepts, and you don't talk to them for 3-4 weeks, and all of a sudden they're on to something else. Explain the post-offer process, including the start date, onboarding details, and any pre-start events that might occur before they start. Ultimately, these steps will help you secure top talent and build a strong, committed workforce.
So you've gone through what sometimes maybe seems like the hard work, but now you got to try to figure out how you're going to retain this top talent, because obviously It's the people that make your organizations thrive. So we'll look at retention as such a critical component of building a strong and successful team. It's not just about hiring the right people, but also about keeping them engaged and satisfied in their roles. In this section, we will explore proven strategies and best practices to help you retain your top performers. From creating supportive work environments to offering opportunities for growth and development, these practices will ensure your best talent remains committed and motivated. Let's dive into these key strategies to help you maintain a stable and high-performing team. Employee turnover can lead to significant costs, not just financially, but also in terms of lost customers, decreased productivity, and lower team morale. To maintain a fully productive team and capitalize on growth opportunities, it's crucial to focus on improving retention rates. Next slide. So let's explore some of these effective strategies for enhancing employee retention, starting with evaluating equity and engagement. It's important to foster a culture of transparency and respect within your teams. Regularly recognizing top performers, providing constructive feedback, and encouraging open communication can significantly boost engagement and morale. Another key strategy is to offer continuing education opportunities. Employees value growth and development, so providing access to ongoing education programs or customized learning modules can help them advance in their careers and feel more invested in the organization. Additionally, conducting meaningful exit interviews is crucial, even though they can be challenging. These interviews provide valuable insights into the strengths and weaknesses of your company's culture. Understanding the reasons behind employee departures allows you to identify trends and address underlying issues to prevent future turnover. And lastly, conduct annual surveys. This is something that we started doing a few years ago, and it's proved super valuable for us to get a good pulse on the environment. But it really, allows you to gauge employee satisfaction. Regular surveys, whether using a rating scale or open feedback, provide important insights that can help refine and improve your retention strategies. By implementing the above steps, businesses can retain top talent and achieve sustainable growth. Now to pass it over to Ashley as we wrap up.
Thanks, Andrew. So as Andrew mentioned, we are wrapping up. This was one of the shorter session as we went into all of the previous 8 steps in session 1. Kelly in the chat asked if the first session is recorded, and it is. We'll be sharing that out on our social media. And if you don't follow us yet, it is the Doyle Group on LinkedIn. And we'll also share it out to our network via our monthly newsletter next month as well. But as we conclude, we just want you to remember that mastering the art of hiring and retaining top talent is crucial for thriving in today's competitive job market. Throughout these sessions, we've covered essential strategies to attract exceptional candidates, conduct effective interviews, and extend compelling job offers. So hopefully, by adopting all of these best practices, your organization can position itself as an employer of choice, securing talent that not only meets but exceeds your expectations and aligns with your company culture and long-term objectives. If you need any further guidance, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We also are very excited to launch this brand new hiring guide. It is a self-led resource, and you can access it on the Doyle Group's website on our resources tab. So you'll see, just like Kate put up on the screen, you'll see the hiring guide icon under resources. And if you click download, you can actually download the full PDF. And again, it's a self-led guide. You can share it with anyone at your organization, anyone in your network, and it is a great tool that walks through all of these steps in depth. Since we have some folks that joined us that I don't believe were on the first session, Kate, if you want to go back up to, I think it was slide number 3, the one that has all of the different steps. We have some extra time if any of you guys have questions on any of the previous steps that we didn't go over today that we did in the first session, or if you have questions over on anything we went over today, we can open up the floor to a Q&A.
I'll also just add, while we're waiting for anybody to come up with any questions, is that this obviously is a great resource for hiring, but we also have plenty of other resources, blogs that we have that Ashley does an amazing job. So please follow us on LinkedIn, and also try to join the bridge. I mean, it's a great opportunity to network with other professionals, especially in your technology related field, whether it be program and project management, data analytics, data management, engineering. So feel free, there's more than one way to get some great information that we put out there, because we always want to pass it along to the network that we get to work with each and every day.
Great call out, Andrew. I'm actually going to put the link to the bridge in the chat. So if anyone wants to join us in the bridge that isn't already a part of that group, go ahead and click the link. And then you'll just have a short waiting period before we approve you to join. Essentially, it is a great place to access other professionals who are in similar lines of work, a great place to access all of our resources. We post blogs there. Sometimes we post our open jobs, and there are separate groups too. So let's say you're part of the project management group, you have access to other project managers. If you're part of the data group, you have access to other folks who are also in that specialty. So definitely a cool platform, and it is open to any of you guys that want to join us there. And if we don't have any questions, again, we'll wait another second. Feel free to pop them in the chat or come off mute. But if we don't have any questions, we can go ahead and wrap up a little bit early. And then we'll be sharing this recording out too. So if there was anyone in your network that wasn't able to join us today, you'll be able to share that with them as soon as we post that on LinkedIn.
I'll just follow up with saying as well, I know Ashley said this is kind of a self-regulated guide that, you can kind of walk through, but please feel free if anybody has, wants more personalized approach and wants to set up a consultation just to talk about their hiring strategies. Again, we kind of set this off to talk about if it's an entrepreneur who's looking to establish his team. It could be an HR professional that maybe has some challenges working with firms, as well as just, hiring managers in general that just have different, questions about how to attract talent, or maybe there's been situations that you would want to talk through. Feel free to reach out to us. I think Ashley is probably the best person to contact, and then she can direct you towards the right resource within our organization. So if that is it, thank you guys so much for joining today. Please share. I think knowledge is always super helpful to kind of share out among the community. So we appreciate your time today, and hopefully everyone found value.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.